Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from the Meadowlands Racetrack here on Friday. It is the 23rd of September 2022. It's the first night of the Thoroughbred meeting from the Meadowlands, and I'm going to look at all the races on the turf. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. All turf racing from the Meadowlands. The Thoroughbred Fall meeting for the Thoroughbreds has always been one of my favorite times of year. There are about 5 fixtures in a year that I look forward to: Saratoga, Cheltenham, Dubai, and the Meadowlands Thoroughbred meeting, and the fifth one is the Preakness. I always like the Preakness for some reason, but those go on my calendar first. But you always see some good races, and let's look at it. We all like all turf racing, but the first race from the Big M on the turf, it is a maiden race, a maiden claim race, going for a purse of $21,000. Race for 2-year-old filly maidens here, going for a claim price $25,000. We have a field here of 10 horses going to the turf course. The rails will be out tonight at 20 feet, so just keep that in mind. Excuse me, 17 feet, not 20 feet, 17 feet. They're going the distance of ground here of 1,000 meters, or the distance of ground of 5 furlongs of the Meadowlands lawn. The turf course, 1,000 meters, 5 furlongs here. Rails are at 17 feet. My top selection, I'm going to go take the number 7 horse here. Watch me call. Watch my call. I'm going to go 7185 in the superfecta. 7185 super. Top selection, 7 horse. Watch my call. 2-year-old filly by Frosted. Jose Delgado trains. Gets Torres up in the saddle. He's making his turf debut, but his most recent race came on the dirt at Monmouth. 21st of August. 5 furlongs in a main special weight, 44,000. And he finished 4th by 3 lengths that day. He didn't break so well, which probably cost him. He was rushed after that. He was a little bit wide, but just could never get the good turn of foot. Come to turf where you got a good starting position. Hopefully he breaks well. I think he could go a long way. His buyers are up to scratch with these, little subpar horses. 2 back at Saratoga, 20th of July, 5.5 in main special weight. He finished 6th by 15.5 lengths that day. Again, not the best beginnings. He was with them early on, but then just completely hit the wall. Keep in mind, a few horses out of that race have won on to win next start out. And then a Monmouth on the 1st of July, 5 furlongs in the main special weight. He finished 3rd by 7.5 lengths that day. He just kind of stalked, but can never get the good turn of foot. But coming here off some decent workouts, getting to the turf for the first time, I'm going to use him at 3-1. I think you also have to use the 1-horse Spoils of War. Raymond Handel trains this one, gets Ardorno up in the saddle. His only start came on the 5th of September at Saratoga, 5.5 on the medal in the main special weight. He finished 8th by 5 lengths that day, and he just, never really got into it. He was very wide. He's getting serious class relief. He's getting Lasix for the first time. He looks like he has some speed from the workout patterns. We'll use him in the multis. But to recap my selection for the opener from the Meadowlands, let's take the 7 horse here. Watch my call tonight. Give kudos to the 7185 super. Let's go 7-1 in the pick 4, the pick 6 that begins with this race. But let's get to the second race from the Big M, which is allowance optional claimer purse $56,250. Races for Jersey bred fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. Number 1 New Jersey bred restricted race, blah 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 blah. We have a field of 8 horses going to the lawn at the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, with the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Meadowlands turf course. 1,700 meters, 1 mile 1/16. My top selection, I'm going to go take here the number 6 horse. The number 6 horse, who is Kitten's Collusion. Let's go 6-3-2-5 in the superfecta. 6-3-2-5 super. Top selection, 6 horse, Kitten's Collusion. This 3-year-old filly by Kitten's Joy. Grand Motion trains. Hector Dias Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 15th of August in Monmouth, mile 16th in Ops 50 claimer, and she won by 1 length that day, and she sat back early. She slowly moved her way out. When she got the leading lane, she was drifting a little bit. She got the job done, but with the drifting, they had to disqualify her because she kind of interfered with the other horse. Now, watching the replay a few times, did they have to disqualify her? That's a different call in different states. I wouldn't have disqualified the horse, but she still ran her heart out there with a class relief. Even more class relief from the last race coming here to the Big M tonight. I think the horse could really run a good race off of that last run. 2 back in the Jersey Girl handicap on Monmouth, 1 mile on the 9th of July. She finished 5th by 7.25 lengths that day and just really had nothing, never quickened up. It just wasn't the day to win. And then Ops 15 at Monmouth, the mile 16th on turf, off the turf on the slop. She finished 5th by 3 lengths, just had nothing. Again, very tough tough race. And then at Tampa, 1 mile and optional 75. She finished third by 5 1/4 lengths. She really closed up well. When she got clear running room late, it was just a little bit too late for her. She's won once. That came at Prescott last fall, going 1 mile 70 on the Tapete in the main special weight. Won by 1 1/4 lengths, circling the field. Again, she drifted a little bit, but that's because she was out by herself. Coming here today, I think at 8-5, she's a very likely winner. I think the 3-horse Postino's Idol is your second likeliest winner. Paco Lopez is on this 9-year-old mare. Most recently, they ran the horse in a Pinot Grigio at Monmouth, 5 furlongs on the 18th of September. So this past Sunday, where the horse finished 5th by 8 1/4 lengths there and just missed all chances because the horse didn't break. If she would have broke, she would have made the race interesting. Going to a mile 16th, where previous races were at the longer chip. She had a little bit of wide posture on those races. With a better posture right here today, come back to Meadowlands where she won her most recent race locally on the 23rd of October last year very, very nicely. I'm going to give her a shot, this old lady. But to recount my selection for the second from the Big M, let's take the 6-horse Kitten's Collusion, give kudos to the 3-horse Postino's Idol, 6-3-2-5 Super, 6-3 in your multi-race. The third race from the Big M, it's a main claiming race per $16,500. Race for Maine's Fillies Mayors, 3-year-olds and upwards, going for a claim price of $10,000. We have a field of 11 horses entered, but only 10 could go, so the 11 horses in AE, so 10 will go to 1,700 meters or mile 16th on the Meadowlands turf course. 1,700 meters, 1 mile 1/16th. My top selection, I'm going to go take here the number 9 horse. The number 9 horse, Wi-Fi. Let's go 9-4-1-7 in the superfecta. 9-4-1-7 super. Top selection, 9 horse Wi-Fi. This 3-year-old filled by Data Link. Kelsey Damner trains this one. Nick Juarez gets the mount. The horse's most recent out came 30th of August at Colonial. Mile 16th off turf in Maine, 10,000. And the horse finished 4th by 2 lengths that day. And he just kind of stalked, never got the good turn of foot. It just wasn't the day to win. Coming here, refreshing back up north to the Meadowlands. Better turf course, I think from the outside will probably leave. Speed favoring with the rails out. I think the horse could get something going. 2 back were in the 9th of August at Colonial, mile 16th and Main 16. And the horse finished 6th by 4.5 lengths that day. And she just kind of stalked again. She never got the good turn of foot. Maybe she just didn't like the Colonial turf course. Her races on that haven't been very good at all. And then before that Colonial, 13th of July, mile 16th, Main 25. She's been 4th by 5.5 lengths that day. And she just never really showed up again from a tracking position. Her best race lifetime came race before at Monmouth on the 1st of July. Mile 16th off the bench in Main 30. She finished 4th by 4 3/4 lengths that day. And, she was a little bit wide, but she was closing up well late. She definitely outran her 42-1 odds. Coming here back to a Main 10, very lower class, and I think she could get something going. I think her, her buyers are, kind of decent for this spot. I think you also have to use the 4-horse here, Blue Kentucky Girl. Paco Lopez is on this 4-year-old filled by Carpe Diem. Most recently, they ran the horse at Delaware. It's about 7.5 on the turf course, Main 1650, where she finished 2nd by 3 1/4 lengths. She set the pace. She got caught late. What can you do? Maybe just a little bit too quick to the half. And then at Gulfstream in mid-May, 7.5 in Main 16. She finished 4th by 3 1/4 lengths. She had to use a lot to get over from the 11 of 11 post draw, which cost her late. She just couldn't keep up. She's 15-0, but she's always run these good races, especially as of recently. Getting Paco up could be forwardly paced. It wouldn't surprise me if he steals this on the front end here. And also here, the 1-horse Luna's Treasure coming in from Colonial also. If there's going to be a deep closer, I think it could be this one. Her races at Monmouth haven't been bad over the winter. Coming here today, we'll use her with a serious class relief. Her turn of foot could be good in this one. But to recount my selection for the third from the Big M, let's take the 9-horse Wi-Fi, 9-4-1-7 Super, 9-4-1-7 Super, 9-4-1 in your multi-race. To the fourth event now from the Big M, which is a claiming race, purse $18,000. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. Never won 2 races here. Claim price $7,500. We have a field of 12 horses entered, but only 10 can go. Again, the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of a mile 1/16 on the Meadowlands turf course. I'm going to take here as a top selection the number 7 horse Lagerfeld. I'm going to go 7-6-4-9 in the superfecta. 7-6-4-9 super. Top selection 7-horse Lagerfeld, this 3-year-old gelding by Congrats. Kathleen O'Connor trains. Hector Diaz Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 5th of September at Colonial, mile 16th on the inner turf course in Maine 10,000, and the horse went by a head that day, and he sat back early, saved a lot of ground when this horse got to the lead. He held on to a very nice victory. Now going back to his claiming 7,500, on the quick turnaround again, I think the horse could get the second victory in his lifetime. There's always that pattern when the horses take a while to get the first victory. The second victory comes around very, very quickly. But he was gearing up to that race because the buyers were up to scratch. He probably, if he had a little bit of a better trip before that Colonial, going a mile in a Main 16th on the 10th of August, he could have possibly won. He finished 6 by 5 3/4 lengths. I thought he just sat a little bit too closer in the mid portion of the race, which cost him. But the race before that Colonial, Main 16, he finished third by 2.5 lengths that day, and he had a little bit of a tough trip, but he was closing up well late there. And then a Monmouth in Main 16, he finished second by 3.25 lengths, and again had a little bit of a bad break, a little bit of trouble in the far turn, but again he was closing up well. Coming here today off some decent runs, like I said, took him a while to get the main victory, but I think he'd get it back again today. To the point of I'm actually gonna single him in this pick 6 at 6-1. He's gonna be my best bet of the night. But to recap my selections for the 4th and the Big M, let's take the 7-horse Lagerfeld 7-6-4-9 Super. We'll single the 7 in the multi-race. The 5th event, beginning of the late double from the Big M. I can't speak, pardon me. The 5th race, it's a claiming event again, going for a purse $25,000, race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, going for that claim price $12,500. We have a field of 11 horses entered, but keep again the 11 horses in AE, so 10 could go 1,700 meters or mile 16th on the Meadowlands turf course. I'm going to take as a top selection the 4-horse Pug List. I'm going to go 4-10-3-1 in the superfecta. 4-10-3-1 super. Top selection 4-horse Pug List. 7-year-old mare by Get Stormy. Carlos David trains one. Gets Rodriguez up in the saddle. The horse's most recent outing came 21st of August at Monmouth. Mile 16th in a start allowance race. And the horse finished 7 by 4 3/4 lengths that day. And he just kind of stalked but could never get the good turn of foot. Coming here, back down the class ladder, back to the Meadowlands, where he's making his debut, where he could be a little bit forwardly paced on this turf course. I think he could get a better trip here today. 2 back and claiming 1250 at Monmouth, 1 mile on the 1st of August. The horse won by 3.5 lengths, and actually got claimed out of that run to the new trainer from Jose Delgado to Carlos David. He basically stalked, he got the lead, and probably could have won by more, but they didn't want to kill the horse. It was a very good race with some class relief, and then before that, an optional 30 at Monmouth, mile 16th and 24th of June. The horse finished 4th by 2.5 lengths there, and was just, a little bit wide and never really showed up. This horse has won 9 times in his life, twice this season. The other win came at Tampa earlier in the year, 1 mile and option 32, winning by 1.5 lengths, upsetting that day. He took a great turn of foot, and he won quite nicely. Came back after that to really, run a very good second place finish at Tampa. But coming here, decent workout patterns, back down the class ladder, 5-2, we'll use him. I think the 10 horse you have to use also, Daddy's Joy. Isaac Castillo's on this one. Most recently in a claim 1250 at Monmouth, going a mile on the 27th of August. The horse won by length that day, and he sat back early. He really closed up well late and got the job done. I loved his races earlier in the year at Gulfstream on the Tapeta and then come to turf. He has a good tracking position, which I think should do well. He'll probably leave from the outside. 9-2, let's use him in the pick 4 or pick 6. But to recap my selections, where are we? For the 5th race from the Meadowlands, let's take the 4-horse Pug List. Give kudos to the 10-horse Daddy's Joy. 4-10-3-1 Super. 4-10 in your multi-race. The 6th event, the finale on the program from the Big M. It's an allowance race. Purse $45,000. Race is for fillies, 3-year-olds who never won a race in the main claim starter or stable allowance race who never won 2 races. We have a field of 9 horses in the nightcap going 1,700 meters or mile 16th on the turf course. If you're bored of mile 16th races, tomorrow all the races I believe are a mile further out, so just keep that in your head. But my top selection, I'm going to go take the 6-horse Frippet. Let's go 6-3-2-8 in the superfecta. 6-3 6-3-2-8 Super. Top selection 6-horse Frippit. 3-year-old filly by Go Zapper. Jonathan Thomas trains. Isaac Castillo gets the mounts. The horse's most recent out came 3rd July at Monmouth. Mile 70 on the dirt in an allowance race 57,000. And the horse finished second by half length. He didn't break that well, which is a thing with this horse as of recently. He didn't break. He just kind of stalked, moved a little bit late, but he just needed something more. Coming the turf, his turf effort in April wasn't bad at Keeneland at all. I'm going to give him another shot here with some, class relief. Two back in main special weight Monmouth, mile 16th off turf on the 21st of May. He won by 4 3/4 lengths. Again, he didn't break so well, but he went straight to the front end, pedestrian fractions, and he won it off of that. A very good race. Also, he's 10 cents to the dollar. And then prior to that, a month earlier at Keeneland, mile 16th in main special weight, 100,000. He finished second by 2 lengths that day. He set the pace all the way around the race course, but then he just couldn't keep up late. Maybe that quick half got to him. And then before that, Goldstream 7 furlongs in main special weight. He finished third by 3 3/4 lengths that day. He really closed up well from mid-pack. I like his running style on turf, where he can come from mid-pack. He's a little bit of a grinder. At 5-2, I'm going to use him. The 3-horse Lady out of the blue, I think he's your second likeliest winner from Michael Matz. Gets Jimenez up in the saddle. Most recently at Penn Nat, 1 mile in Maine, 25,000. And before I go any further, it's been such a while since I watched a race from Penn National or a replay in, any kind of race. So watching that race was kind of cool. Maine, 25,000 at Penn National going a mile on 26th of August. The horse won by a half length that day, and he had a dream trip. He stalked, he got the lead, he quickened up nicely, and again, could have won by more. It was a good run, earning a 64 buyer. That buyer could definitely win against these horses today. Two back at Penn Nat, 1 mile 70 on the turf in main special weight. He finished third by 1/2 lengths. He stalked, he got the lead, he got caught late. He ran his heart out there, but he was a little bit green late, which probably cost him. He needed the experience. He's training well at Fair Hills, coming up north at 5-1. I'll give him a shot to possibly a slight up to set in the slate pick in the pick 6 to end off the card. But to recount my selection for the 6 from the Meadowlands nightcap, let's take the 6-horse Frippit. Give kudos to the 3-horse Lady out of the blue. 6-3-2-8 Super. 6-3 to end off the pick 6. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingCat5. Good luck, everybody.